This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated.
Good evening. Welcome to the Glazov Gang. Tonight, why Hillary won't quit Huma. Backed by popular demand, Daniel Greenfield, a Shillman Fellow at the David Horowitz Freedom Center, and also the editor and writer of the blog The Point at frontpagemag.com. Daniel, welcome back to the Glazov Gang.
Thanks for having me on again, despite the hat.
Daniel, we're so excited to see you still have that hat on. Can you give us an update? What's going on with the hat?
Well, a crow did try to carry it off, but I wrestled him for it, and his attempt at wealth redistribution or hat redistribution failed miserably.
Right. What feedback are you getting on it? Are you wearing it outside or just on the show?
Well, you know, it is pretty hot outside, well, with it being Los Angeles. So the hat does help keep the sun off, and it helps keep the socialists off, too.
Okay. Daniel, you had, as always, a very fascinating blog at The Point the other day that Hillary's not off the Huma train. What's going on there? Some very interesting new facts and some evidence about some money from Hillary going into Huma's pocket still till this day.
Yeah, it does appear that the office of Hillary Clinton is continuing to pay money to Huma Abedin. We're talking about sizable sums of money. Now, Hillary is just out. She's got her new book out. She's promoting it. What happened? What happened with that election? And obviously, she blames a whole bunch of people, and among them, she blames the FBI and the whole Comey letter. That letter was prompted by none other than Huma Abedin, or rather, Huma Abedin keeping emails on a laptop used by her husband, a fellow by the name of Anthony Weiner, or Carlos Danger, back when he was sexting young girls. The FBI investigation of that ended up leading to an investigation of the emails, ended up leading to an investigation of Hillary Clinton, yet again ended up leading to the letter, which Hillary does blame for losing the election, along with the Russians, misogyny, and about 20,000 other things, of course, except Hillary. Hillary, of course, is not at all to blame for losing the election. Now, if Hillary genuinely believes that the FBI cost her the election, that really means that Huma Abedin cost her the election. So why is she still on board with Huma Abedin? Why is Huma Abedin still getting paid?
You know, this is a very strange story. I want to detour for a second, but it's very much connected to everything we're talking about. You mentioned Hillary's new book, and I was looking at the news today, and apparently there's a section of her book where she's complaining and wanted to say, you know, get off me, you creep, or something to Trump during one of their debates, right? And I don't know, I just find this very funny, Daniel, because she's surrounded by Bill Clinton, Anthony Weiner. There's just something very odd about this particular detail in her book. What do you make of it?
Hillary Clinton loves playing the victim. Back when she was running for the Senate in New York, she claimed that Rick Glazov was the Republican Senate candidate, approached her, and he handed her a piece of paper, and this was so intimidating, and it was so mean, and it was so horrible, and she played the victim. And when she was running against Obama, she began playing the victim. Now she's still playing the victim after losing to Trump, so it's very, very predictable. The reality is Hillary's not the victim. Hillary Clinton is off behind a long trail of victims, including children, including women who were abused by her husband. So she's not remotely the victim in this whole gambit where she was feeling uncomfortable because Trump was pacing. This is so childish and so pathetic and so ridiculous. And it just shows that Hillary Clinton can't let go of playing the victim.
No, but there's an implication of Hillary, too, that Trump might be somehow interested in her in some way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, she's really very much flattering herself. Has she seen the First Lady? I don't think that's happening.
But also, she's surrounded by creeps in terms of Bill Clinton, Anthony Weiner. I don't know. There's something very bizarre in this particular segment of the narrative, right?
I mean, she is an expert on creeps. She married one. She's surrounded by them, as you've said, on a regular basis. But she is one herself, too. So she is certainly an expert on creeps. But, you know, people like that, they tend to project onto others what they are themselves.
Right. Now, look, so Daniel, let's get back on the train track here in terms of what we're talking about. This whole narrative of the Huma Abedin and Hillary, this is a very strange story. So, you know, you're reporting on this evidence coming out that money is still going into Huma's pocket by Hillary. Now, look, Huma's definitely, we know, her family's Muslim Brotherhood. We know that connection of hers. Just let's backtrack for a minute here. How could Huma, from a Muslim Brotherhood family, and we know who her mother is, we know the book that she wrote, we know how they're fervent supporters of Sharia. Her father was Muslim Brotherhood, brother, sister, all work for that Muslim Brotherhood organization. How could it as did she. Thank you, Daniel. How could it possibly be that she married an American Jewish man?
So you know these types, the Muslim Brotherhood is big on infiltration, and clearly there was an ambitious angle here. Now, back in the day, obviously Anthony Weiner now is a used dish rag, but back in the day he was an aspiring, ambitious young congressman. He was close to the Clintons, which helped, and he was on track to becoming mayor of New York. If he had self-control, he would be mayor of New York today, and mayor of New York, you can hop from there to governor of New York, and from governor of New York, you've got a good shot at running for president. So this was the game plan here. Huma Abedin could very well have been the first lady if Anthony Weiner, a.k.a. Carlos Danger, could have actually kept the Carlos Danger part of himself under wraps. He couldn't actually, unfortunately, do that, or fortunately do that, resulting in this mess. But Huma Abedin clearly is more than she seems. Somebody from that kind of family doesn't just walk over to Washington, D.C. And for that matter, you have basically a young woman who's suddenly very, very, very close to the former First Lady of the United States and the United States Senator. How does that suddenly even happen? It's very, very strange. And clearly there are connections here that have not completely come to light.
Right. Now, Daniel, now you asked this in your blog. So we see that Huma's on the Hillary train, or Hillary's on the Huma train, but they definitely owe somebody owes somebody something. But you bring this up in terms of with a question or implication. Huma's got a lot on Hillary, correct?
Yeah. So the question is, if Hillary Clinton really does believe that the Comey letter, that the Anthony Weiner laptop is what cost her the election, or is one of the major factors that cost her the election. And I think at the end of the day, she does believe it. She's a compulsive liar. But I think she really does blame everybody else but herself. I think she's being honest in that, not that she's telling the truth, but that she does honestly believe it. Why is Huma Abedin still employed? I mean, Hillary Clinton has been trying to become president for much of her life. The moment that Bill Clinton left the White House, they had this whole plan to make her president. It required going through the Senate, it required this, it required that, and everything was put into this. This is the final effort. They know they're never going to get the chance again. Hillary Clinton has lost her lifelong dream of becoming President Hillary Clinton, of becoming the first woman president, and it did not happen. And that's Huma Abedin's fault. So why is Huma Abedin still employed? So option one is that Hillary Clinton just likes Huma Abedin that much and is just willing to forgive her this. Or option two, Huma Abedin would be more dangerous to Hillary Clinton if she were fired than if she were employed by the Clintons.
Okay. So, Daniel, also we mentioned Hillary's got a book that's coming out. She's doing all these speeches still. She's still trying to be relevant. Would we agree that probably even many Democrats and leftists by now would want her to go away?
Most of them want her to go away. She's a disaster. Her approval ratings are absolutely terrible. I think only Putin has lower approval ratings than her in a recent poll. So it's a complete mess. People hate her. And normally, you know, when you lose a presidential election, you go away. John Kerry, you can say plenty of bad things about him, but he's not constantly doing a tour explaining that he would have won the election if it wasn't for those pesky kids. And normally presidential candidates do go away at least somewhat. They don't do this constant defeat tour. I mean, Romney, even Gore didn't do this endless defeat tour. And Hillary Clinton is doing this strange defeat tour. And the Democrats very much want her gone. She's a complete disaster. She's unpopular. She reminds them of their defeat. But it's really hard to get rid of a Clinton. It's where they're like cockroaches. They just keep popping up again.
Daniel, personally, I always found her laugh pathological. There was something very scary about her laugh. Did you ever catch that?
Her laugh is creepy. It's creepy because it's fake, and it's creepy in the same way that the rest of her is fake because it's all fake. Her smile, her mannerisms, everything is fake. We've never actually seen the real Hillary Clinton live, and it would be interesting to actually see that. What we've seen is this kind of really badly acted facade, and this is what voters failed to connect with. It's one reason that she lost the election, because really people just sensed that she was fake all through.
Yeah, when I close my eyes and just picture the real Hillary Clinton, I kind of see portraits of Mao and Stalin and Lenin behind her. What do you see?
Yeah, I think that's about perfect. You could see her in one of those, the Chinese pajama outfits they like to wear. Wouldn't be very far from the pantsuit she's wearing now, and she'd be issuing orders, shoot this guy, shoot that guy. I think that would be very much up her alley.
Well, that's the left for you. So, Daniel, just this whole Hillary, Huma, Anthony Weiner thing, I don't know. That's why I want to kind of return to this, because now we know that money's still going into the pockets of Huma. And, you know, we think that perhaps, or we know, there's still some kind of responsibility that Hillary perhaps owes to the Saudis or to those who had supported her. What do you think?
I think it's an interesting question. So we certainly know one of Huma's responsibilities was to help open doors for Hillary for the Clinton Foundation in the Middle East. She spoke the language, and the Clintons very much relied on foreign donors to help boost their career prospects, to help boost their war chest, to help boost their profile. Now, obviously, this is not happening. Hillary Clinton is not going to be president. Bill Clinton is not going to be anything except maybe the guy admitted to the hospital for alcohol poisoning. Chelsea Clinton she's burned through everything, and any possibility of her becoming anything at all is completely unrealistic. But at the same time, the Clintons do have extensive connections, which means they could be very useful as lobbyists. They could be very useful as connecting foreign interests with people in the United States who could be helpful to them. And I think that's still very much in play.
Okay, Daniel, in terms of Anthony Weiner, I kind of don't know where to start here, but look, you're married to this woman that's at the right-hand side of a woman that's running for president. The whole world is watching you. Everybody knows what's happening on social media. You're in the spotlight. You've already been accused and caught sexting and all this weird stuff he was doing. Why during this time do you start sexting with an underage girl?
It's self-destructive behavior. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I think anybody who's been looking at this whole freak show can see that it's self-destructive behavior. And you've had a certain amount of self-destructive behavior from Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. With Bill Clinton, it's pretty obvious. With Hillary Clinton, she has this habit of telling really bizarre, stupid lies, lies that are bound to come apart, lies that have no reason for even being told. So, for example, claiming she was named after Sir Edmund Hillary. I mean, why even tell that lie? It's stupid. There's nothing to gain from it. And it was so easy to take apart. And there's just a string of these compulsive lies that she doesn't even benefit from. And it's self-destructive behavior. And I think all three of them are united by this kind of self-destructive behavior. And it's hard to know exactly what motivates that self-destructive behavior. But, you know, definitely putting somebody with self-destructive tendencies into the position of President of the United States, that would not be a good idea.
Weiner played a key role in leading Clinton to lose, correct?
She certainly claims that. I think it hurt her. I don't think it was the knockout punch. Most of the things that Hillary's blaming for the knockout punch, the Podesta hacks, the Comey letter, are not really the core issue. Again, they did damage to her. But I think most people just really failed to connect with her. Her campaign did not bring out voters. The black voters she was counting on, the college kids she was counting on, did not turn out for her. But I think it's easier for her to blame these things. It's easier for her to say, well, you know, it was these hacks, it was this unfair letter, people were being mean to me. And that's, of course, an ongoing Hillary theme. People are being mean to me. There's this vast right-wing conspiracy. It deflects attention from the fact that she was just a bad candidate and a bad person.
Daniel, before we go, there's been some news lately that Anthony Weiner has absolutely no friends left. Your thoughts on that?
I'm surprised he ever had any friends to begin with, but, you know, I think he can go on Twitter and find friends, and it's worked for him before. It's bound to work for him again.
Wow. Okay, so in conclusion, money from Hillary's pocket still going into Huma's pocket. Hillary, Huma, Anthony Weiner, what's your conclusion? Oh, wait, let me throw the Muslim Brotherhood in there. What's your conclusion for now, your tentative, perhaps hypothesis on what's going on with this dysfunctional Muslim Brotherhood family feud?
It's the American version of the Munsters. It's very, very bizarre. One day we'll actually find out what's going on there, but I think we've seen the dirty tip of the iceberg there, which is that money has been going both ways, which is that American politics has been for sale, particularly in certain sectors, that the Clintons will absolutely do anything for money, that their greed has been uncontrollable, and that they're traders who will sell out their country for money to the highest bidder, and then they'll sell it again to the next highest bidder. I think that's what we've been seeing, and that's what we'll go on seeing if they continue to be involved in politics.
Okay, fantastic. Oh, just a second, my producer, Annie. Oh, yeah, I'll tell him to wear the hat again the next time. Absolutely. Yeah, Annie wants you to wear the hat absolutely the next show, Daniel?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. Keep up the great work, Daniel. You're #1 in our books, okay?
Okay, good books.
Thanks for joining us. Make sure, everybody, that you are reading Daniel Greenfield's blog, The Point. It's at frontpagemag.com, the best blog on the internet and in the world. Thank you for joining the Glazov Gang this evening. Please remember, we're a fan-generated program. If you like what we do, go to jamieglazov.com to support the show. And please motivate everybody to be a subscriber of the YouTube channel of the Glazov Gang. Good night.